beautiful Thursday. It will be. Good morning. My name is Mariam Owodoni. Welcome to AM Cafe. Yeah, you can join us on all our social media at Osun State Broadcasting Corporation or OSBC TV. This morning we have Comrade Christopher Arapasokpo in the studio with us. Yes, and we are discussing the updates on implementation of minimum wage. Yes, that is what we are discussing this morning. The minimum wage is the lowest wages that an employer can legally pay their employees. Then an employer is required to pay earners for the work performed during a given period, which cannot be reduced by a collective agreement or an individual contract. The labor union had initially proposed a new minimum wage to offset the high living cost occasioned by the government's removal of fuel subsidy and the devaluation of naira last year. After months of negotiations, the government and the union finally reached a consensus figure of 70,000 naira. Yeah, good morning, sir.
Yeah, good morning.
Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, when it comes to minimum wage in Nigeria, a whole lot has been happening and people are waiting. They are eager. They want to know the outcome. That is why we want an update from you this morning on minimum wage. Sir, can you provide a brief overview of the current minimum wage in Nigeria?
I want to say it's on my news that 70,000 naira is now the minimum wage as far as the country is concerned, and it has been passed to law. And last week we communicated with some of our people at Abuja. So, and there's different in you having a figure, and there's different in you implementing it on a table. That is the salaries table. It is something that have to follow a due process, and that is what we are doing now at the level of federal. And back to our states, Mr. Governor has directed that a committee be put in place, and I know by next week we'll be doing that in our states.
Thank you very much, sir. When was the last minimum wage adjusted and what prompted it?
The last one should be 2019, and it was, in fact, even if there is no hardship or whatever in the country or inflation, minimum wage was usually 5 years, and 2019 was another year that a new minimum wage was implemented across the country. Though we then had some governors who failed to pay. I think we have like 4 or 5 states who failed to pay. And recently too, in April 18 or 19 rather, that was when another minimum wage was supposed to kickstart, but because the one that of 2019 ended in April this year, 19th of April this year. So, and that was when the normal negotiation between the labor side and the government side also kick-started also. And at the end of the day, though we expected that to have ended in April, so that on the May Day, government or the governors will be able to, pronounce that into the air. But it was quite unfortunate that didn't happen. So thereafter, after some months, I think 3 weeks or last month rather, we discovered that we both had an agreement between the government side and the labor side of 70,000 naira, and that's where we are now.
Interesting. So, what are the key challenges faced in the implementation of new minimum wages in Nigeria? Because with the events that have been happening, we can see it's not easy.
Well, as far as we are concerned as labor, it has become a law, and we don't see any difficulty in that, because we never started with 70,000 naira. We started with 615,000 naira. Thereafter, it was reduced to 497,000 naira, and also 250,000 naira. So for us now to come down to 70,000 naira, so I think we've done the just, and I believe we should not have any government who will be saying they don't have the capacity to pay. We know they have the capacity of 70,000 naira, and it is not too big and too much for Nigerian workers to have 70,000 naira as a minimum wage in the country. And if really want to be real, want to be realistic about the happenings in the country, you know that the hardship is everywhere, inflation everywhere. So it's a big thing.
Interesting. Sir, as a union leader, sir, I know you'll be having people coming to meet you. What are the challenges that has impacted workers and employers? Because I know people will be coming to you.
No, it's normal. Though I wouldn't call that a challenge, or I wouldn't call that, because it's normal for people, trying to eager to see when will government pay, when will government have this, and we told them it is not a thing. It is something that has to do with due process. You don't rush. There's difference in you having the figure at 70,000 naira and the implementation on the table, and that is not a thing that you can do in a day. It has to do with some days, weeks, or a month before you have that.
Interesting. As the minimum wage adjustment affects different sectors in Nigeria?
Well, with the latest, it should. It should. At least 70,000 naira is also something. At least the last one was 30,000 naira. From 70,000 naira to 70,000 naira, that should be about,
from 30,000
to 70,000. That should be about 134 percentage. Percent, you understand? So at least that should, have a positive impact as far as workers are concerned.
Are there sectors where the impact has been particularly significant? Have you seen any so far?
Well, since no states have started, and the only states that announced or started 70,000 naira before the agreement was made between the organized labor and government is Edo State. And aside Edo State, no states have started 70,000, and so we can't say about that for now.
What step has been taken by the Nigerian government to ensure compliance with minimum wage law? Are there any steps being taken?
Like I said earlier, it has become a law, and government has directed that the government should pay, but yet we are still expecting the circular from the federal side, the federal government through the commission over there. So, but it's like I said earlier, it's a done thing and a done deal. We will not take it as organized labor. We will never want to see any government, and any government that fails to pay will have nothing to do that to shut down the states. Yeah.
Thank you very much, sir. Yeah, what is the role? Okay. When it comes to policy and implementations, what is the role of state governments in the implementation of minimum wage and how they have responded?
So far so good. Their responsibility is to have a kind of committee comprises the organized labor and the government side. So once that is done, then we start. It is when you have that, it should be a kind of a collective bargaining. So once that is done, we go on table, they bring out their figures, and that of the labor side, we try and do and bring it together, and at the end of the day we'll have a result on that.
Interesting. How can government ensure that productivity increases along wage adjustments?
Yeah, even the word productive, you should know workers are productive.
Yes. And
when you have adequate workers, or when you have enough workers, I think the productivity will be there. And I stand to be corrected if any government will say workers are not productive. Why not allow them to shut down the states or shut down the country for a day? Then you know workers are productive. So as far as productivity is concerned, workers are productive, and we are the one bringing out the result you are seeing with any government. Any achievement, any government achieving, then you should give it to the workers. It is when you have the cooperation of workers that you have your result. So as far as that is concerned, workers are productive, and we are also the government.
Thank you, sir. Yeah, what are the main arguments from those who oppose further increment in the minimum wage?
We should not be talking about any argument now. The most important thing is this has become a law, and I don't think any state should be arguing on 70,000 naira whether to pay, whether not to pay. It has become a law, and we know the current government of Nigeria can pay at least for one to live or reduce the amount from 615,000 naira down to 70,000 naira. So we don't see any government that would tell us or that will be saying they can't pay. The truth is they can pay as far as 70,000 naira is concerned, because I could recollect when the negotiation was on, the forum of the governors were agitating, pushing for 62,000 naira. So between 62,000 naira and 70,000 naira is just an amount of 8,000 naira. So we know, of course, no government will tell you their revenue has increased or improved. So what we know is that they can pay. As far as labor is concerned, the organized labor is concerned, is they should pay. And it's a must for all states to pay.
They must pay.
That is a mandate given to us by Nigerian workers.
Interesting. How has the private sector responded to the new minimum wage regulations? Are they cooperating?
The private sector, at least they were even part of those ones saying 70,000 naira. So, and we know they should pay, since when we were saying 250,000 naira, they were also saying 70,000. So 70,000 naira should not be a problem for them to pay, and we know definitely they are going to pay on that.
Are there any plans for periodic reviews, and how will these be conducted?
So far so good. That is for government to cut their spendings, and it is also for governments to know where to reduce some of their maybe activities or whatever. So I think that will help in doing what is on ground.
Interesting. When it comes to economic impact, what impact has the minimum wage had on employment levels in Nigeria?
No, of course. When workers are well paid, it will definitely have a positive impact in the country. And it is when they receive good pay that you see workers going to market women. You understand, they will definitely have it. The plumbers, you understand, the contractors, market women, market men, things like that. When they will definitely go to market to buy things, foods, items, they buy it, they take it home. But it is when they are well paid, you see them doing all those things. Definitely, once workers are well paid, it will have an hard positive impact and positive effect in the community.
Has there been any evidence of job losses or shifts to informal employment?
We don't have that so far. For now, we don't have any news about that.
Okay. How does the new minimum wage in Nigeria compare to those in other African countries? Are they close?
Well, we are not close yet, because if you check, you discovered even the Nigeria was the least, paying 30,000 naira at that time before now, and I think the least country should be paying 100 plus. So we are not close, and I believe in the next, since the year of review has been also the review reduced to 3 years instead of the usual 5 years. So that is to tell you, before the current president leaves office, you understand, we'll be definitely negotiating we will negotiate another wage, and by then at least we should be able to move ahead.
Interesting. What is the correlation between the new minimum wage and poverty reduction in Nigeria? Is there going to have any effect?
No, it will. Like I said, poverty alleviation with the new minimum wage, like I said, is all about it's close to 134%, and once the implementation is done across the country, definitely it will reduce that. And we are only appealing to our governors, our government, to kindly please do the needful, as workers are waiting for that.
Interesting. Are there any studies or reports that highlight these relationships? Are they reports? Have you seen reports that this is going to reduce the poverty rate in Nigeria? Because some still believe that amount is not going to have any effect in the economy.
Why not? Let's have it first. But we are sure it's definitely going to, have a positive impact as far as the country is concerned. Though there is hardship everywhere, that is just the gospel truth. But we know definitely this will have to that.
Thank you very much. When it comes to social impact, what role does the labor union play in advocating for minimum wage adjustment?
Well, we're all socialists, and definitely let me just carry it with payment. Once this is paid, definitely there will be a kind of distribution among the people. So that's the only way we can have it. The payment is the first thing before any other thing.
I'm still going to ask again, how sustainable is the current minimum wage in the light of Nigeria economic conditions?
It is sustainable. As workers, the most important thing is when you work, you have your pay, and not just pay, a good pay. So this is sustainable for any government. So they can't tell us they can't pay. So that's just that. It is a must, not just they should. It is a must for every governor in the country to pay 70,000 naira for all Nigerian workers.
Interesting. What economic indicators will influence future wage adjustments?
On that, the only thing is 70,000 naira. Once that comes to stay, in future, will be agitating or requesting or even demanding for another. So definitely it will have some changes in the country once that is done. Like moving from one step to another. So once we have that, definitely it will have some changes on that.
Interesting. Thank you very much, and thanks for joining us this morning, sir. Yes, in your opinion, what should be the focus of future wage policies in Nigeria to ensure economic compensation?
I would say that for us to have that, the government must be serious. The governors must put seriousness in whatever they do as far as workers are concerned. Workers in Nigeria deserve good life. Workers in the country, our country Nigeria, deserve good living. So we will be appealing to them that in future they should be realistic. They should come, with the truth. They should come with a kind of large heart as far as workers are concerned. Workers deserve good hand. After work, they deserve good pay, and we will be appealing to them that in future they should please do the needful so that workers will be happy. They should put smile on the faces of Nigerian workers.
As a comrade, sir, I want you to reassure your people.
Well, back to Adeleke State, Osun State, let me first appreciate our own dear comrade governor, that the Asiwaju Senator Dr. Ademola Jackson Nuruddin Adeleke, honestly speaking, we give it to him because ever since he came on board, Mr. Governor have been doing excellently well in the affairs of workers, the packages, workers, welfareism. Honestly speaking, we give it to him. And as far as you discovered, Mr. Governor represented the Southwest governors at the National Committee to decide the fate of Nigerian workers. And Mr. Governor was the first governor among Nigerian governors to announce that he has accepted 70,000 naira, and that will be definitely paid in our dear state. I want to give it to him on behalf of Nigeria, on behalf of Osun workers, and on behalf of the organized labor in Osun State. We give it to Mr. Governor. And I want to assure our people at home, I want to assure the Osun State workers that we will never be having any problem as far as the current government in Osun is concerned. We know Mr. Governor is up to the task, and we know he's going to do it, and we know Mr. Governor is going to put smile on the faces of workers of Osun State. So we don't have any problem at all, and we don't see any problem coming on board or coming in as far as we'll be negotiating the 70,000 naira, the table also with our own governor. Mr. Governor is a man that loves workers, and is a man of peace. He's a man who has larger heart, and you discovered before he came on board, whatever Mr. Governor is doing now was part of his agenda, and ever since he came, he has never disappointed Osun workers. And I know him. Mr. Governor is a man of his word, and we call him Mr. Talk and Do, and we know definitely Osun workers will smile as far as this 70,000 naira is concerned.
You've assured your people
by the special grace of God.
No, you've assured the workers of Osun State.
Yeah,
I want you to assure the citizens of Osun State.
No, of course, we are human, but with God Almighty and their support, 70,000 naira is a done deal, and we'll never be having problem in getting that. We'll presume their demands until their demands are met. But definitely, we have confidence in Mr. Governor, of which we know Mr. Governor will do the needful.
So the citizens of Osun State should put
they should relax.
Yes,
because
the effect of the money is going to get to them.
We are dealing and working with Mr. Talk and Do, and we know he's going to do it.
Interesting. Thank you very much once again for joining us this morning, Comrade Christopher Arapasokpo, the chairman, Nigerian Labour Congress, Osun chapter. Thank you very much. And thanks for joining us once again. My name is Mariam Owodoni. Yes, greetings to all the crew in the studio this morning. Thank you very much, and thanks for making this program a success. Bye for now.